Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's press conference. We have here with us the Eurogroup President, who will take you through the agenda and the main discussions, together with Commissioner Dombrovskis and the ESM Managing Director, Pierre Gramegna. President, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody. We have just concluded a very busy and productive Eurogroup meeting, and I am very honoured and very humbled to have today received the support of my colleagues to continue my work as President of the Eurogroup. I thank all my colleagues for their trust and for their confidence, and I will continue my work as I promised in 2020, ensuring that all voices, all positions are taken into account. My priority for my next term is to further strengthen our common currency area and to facilitate practical results in our key work streams, from budgetary coordination to the digital euro to the investment and savings union. I continue to be guided by the principles of efficiency and unity in pursuing our priorities of ensuring resilience, making the best use of opportunities, both in terms of the opportunities the single euro affords us by acting together, but also the opportunities that are always there to build compromises, to overcome differences and to make lives better. So, as usual, for this time of the year, we held an important discussion on budget policy coordination ahead of the preparation of our budgets for 2026. Budget sustainability has been central to our policies, and that remains clear from our discussion today and from the statement that we have issued. While we work to deliver on our security-related commitments, we will continue to focus on sustainability and ensure a careful and prudent application of the National Escape Clause. We will also focus on ensuring that our security spending is efficient and it is productive. Today, we are underlining that except for defence spending, fiscal restraint remains appropriate, and we are committed to implementing our medium-term plans. We expect a broadly neutral budget stance in the euro area in 2026, and this seems overall to be appropriate in our current economic environment. Our work on the coordination of budget policies in the euro area continues, and in December we will be turning to our regular review of draft budget plans and the euro area fiscal stance. The conversation will also continue on the necessary reprioritisation within our budgets to accommodate defence spending in the medium term. We then moved from budget matters to monetary issues, and today we had a forward-looking and very topical discussion on the international role of the euro. Since it was created, the euro has been the world's second global currency, and in that role it has remained broadly stable in 2024. This reflects the trust in our institutions, the strength of our economic fundamentals and our collective commitment to stability. But at the same time, we're operating in a changing economic and political environment with a clear trend towards diversification visible in markets. So, in our discussion today, we agreed on the need to closely monitor recent developments and assess their implications for the euro. We must continue progress on key policy areas such as deep and liquid capital markets, efficient and resilient payment systems and credible institutions, and this work will contribute to the effectiveness of the euro and ultimately support the welfare of our societies. The international role of the euro is also a reflection of the strength of the euro area economy, and the euro area is still expanding. Last month, I announced good news on the green light for euro adoption by Bulgaria, and today we continued with the progress and process to turn that into reality, confirming the conversion rate from the lev to the euro that will be fixed definitively in ECOFIN tomorrow. We then welcomed our non-Euro colleagues to continue our meeting in the Eurogroup inclusive format. We held a constructive and forward-looking discussion on the digital euro. We made some good progress. Today's exchange showed growing political convergence on some key topics, and there was a really good tone to it. There's a strong interest in finding a balanced and workable approach to holding limits. This is an important signal of commitment to the digital euro. We have a bit more work to do on this specific topic in the coming weeks, with a view to refining the political guidance in the Eurogroup, which we're aiming to do in our September meeting, and supporting further progress on this file under the Danish presidency. In the context of the follow-up then to the Eurogroup statement on the future of CMU, we were joined by President Calvino of the EIB to discuss their initiatives to support the Savings and Investment Union. The EIB is such an important player in helping innovative businesses to grow in Europe, which is one of the key objectives from the work on CMU at the Eurogroup. Ministers heartily welcomed the EIB's commitment to CMU and to Savings and Investment Union objectives. As a next step, in autumn, we'll take stock of the performance of EU capital markets, of the measures in EU countries to complement EU-level initiatives, which were as much part of our combined efforts as and were agreed in our statement. So with that, I'll hand over to Valdis.
Yes, thank you, Pascal. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate Pascal on your re-election as President of the Eurogroup. Today's outcome shows a strong confidence that Euro area finance ministers place in your leadership. And I look forward to continue our close cooperation to address challenges and seize the opportunities that lie ahead of Eurogroup and Euro area. So moving to other important topics we discussed today, I would like to thank President Lagarde for presenting the European Central Bank's report on the international role of the euro at today's meeting. Increasing euro's global status would bring tangible benefits to EU and euro area member states, businesses and households. This includes lower borrowing costs, reduced risks from currency fluctuations, and greater strategic autonomy. Ultimately, the international role of the currency is determined by its attractiveness to foreign investors and by the stability and performance of our economy. So this report is timely. We are navigating a period of significant upheaval and transformation of the global geopolitical landscape, which presents challenges but also opportunities. Europe is an island of stability in an increasingly turbulent world. We offer investors certainty, predictability, and respect for the rule of law. We must now take most of those advantages. More work needs to be done to make Europe even more attractive for investors and allow the euro to live up to its full potential. Now it's a moment to take decisive steps. Investors will follow our progress in boosting competitiveness, expanding trade, simplifying our rules, and making the most of Europe's single market by tearing down its remaining barriers in the months and years ahead. This brings me to the importance and urgency of making progress of two other points on today's agenda. The first is a digital euro. Member States have already discussed all the key points of this proposal. The task now is to identify the landing zones and steer the file towards a conclusion. This means finding agreement on the remaining open issues, including holding limits. So we look forward for a Danish presidency engaging with member states to find a final agreement on those issues. The European Commission, as always, is ready to provide all necessary technical support to facilitate progress. The second point is Savings and Investments Union. the open, well-functioning and integrated European capital markets that the Savings and Investment Union aims to establish are essential to attract investment and enhance the international role of the euro. Today's meeting provided an opportunity for the Commission to update ministers on the actions we're undertaking to make Europe's capital markets deeper, more liquid and better integrated. It also allowed ministers to exchange on how national policy measures to develop domestic capital markets can contribute to further integrating Europe's capital market. Very briefly, we today discussed also the euro area's fiscal stance with the input from the European Fiscal Board. And overall, the Commission agrees with European Fiscal Board's assessment on the need for a balanced approach in fiscal policy in coming years. So, balancing the need to invest in Europe's defense capabilities while ensuring debt sustainability. And finally, as Pascal already mentioned, we had discussions on the Bulgaria's euro accession and conversion rate, where the Commission has prepared the relevant recommendation for a final decision by ECOFIN tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Managing Director Gramegna.
Good evening, everyone. Let me start by congratulating Paschal Donohoe for being appointed for the third time as the president of the Eurogroup. I think this is a testament to his professionalism, his dedication, and his diplomacy, which he has himself very well described when he said that he was there to listen to all ideas and all opinion. I can confirm this is always the case. That is also why I'm pleased to also underline that he has also been confirmed as the chairman of the European Stability Mechanism, and I look forward to continue to work with you, dear Pascal.
Absolutely, Pierre.
I will briefly touch on 3 points. International role of the euro first. We had the pleasure to hear the dedicated report of Christine Lagarde, President of European Central Bank, who presented a very timely and comprehensive report on the international role of the euro. In recent months, uncertainty surrounding the impact of US administration's actions has resulted in the strengthening of the euro against the dollar and enhancing the role of the euro as a safe haven. This also reflects the fact that in times of geopolitical tensions, Europe offers a stable institutional, trade and monetary policy setting. It offers the opportunity for Europe to strengthen the international role of the euro, and this is worthwhile being underlined. To build on this momentum, Europe must do its homework, which I would summarize with 3 points. Introducing the digital euro. Second, reaping benefits of a modernized single market and quickly implementing the Savings and Investment Union. And third, bolstering its defense capabilities and the necessary financing of it, which would also increase the supply of euro-denominated safe assets, which are in high demand. So the ESM supports these efforts, and as they also strengthen financial stability, which is our mandate. Speaking of the euro and its appeal, I can then say a few words on Bulgaria, which will hopefully tomorrow, in a decision of the ECOFIN, officially be recognized that it can join the the euro area in the beginning of next year. I want to especially thank Minister Petkova, who visited the European Stability Mechanism headquarters in Luxembourg 2 weeks ago. And we discussed there the process of also becoming, in the aftermath, a member of the ESM. So after the decision of tomorrow, we will be able to invite Bulgaria to also be an observer to the boards of the ESM. This is a first step to becoming a full member following the adoption of the euro and having a voice in the decision-making of the ESM. Last point, euro area fiscal stance. Finally, I want to thank the new chairman of the European Fiscal Board for the assessment on the euro area fiscal stance. The ESM supports the board's position that flexibility under the national escape clauses should be used strictly for ramping up defence spending. The key challenge in the medium term is how to absorb higher defence spending, which will be a structural increase and not a temporary one. One important element will be to improve efficiency in defence spending and to think thoroughly about what countries can do together. Geopolitical threats require a coordinated European response.
Thank you. The floor is open for questions. David, please.
Yes, so congratulations. As regards the discussion on the international role of the euro, were there any concerns expressed around the table about the current rising trend of the euro, particularly in light of US tariffs on EU exports and competitiveness? Thank you.
Thank you. Ministers did not comment on current exchange rate developments.
Thank you. Sarah, please.
Hi, Sarah Collins from the Business Post. A question for Minister Donohoe. Did you give any commitments to your Spanish and Lithuanian and other Eurogroup counterparts on, they had criticised the Eurogroup a little bit for needing to be more dynamic, more focused, more exclusive. And do you see those as criticisms of the last 5 years of your leadership, that maybe you've been too much of a consensus builder and not, dynamic enough? And to Commissioner Dombrovskis, Japan and South Korea seem to have received letters from the US administration announcing tariffs of 25%. Has the Commission received a letter from the US? Do you fear that it will include tariffs of 25%? And what happens next if it does? Thank you.
I didn't give any other commitments to any other candidates. And as for my track record, the very fact that my colleagues were willing to re-elect me and reappoint me to continue with my work, given all the challenges that we are facing, I think is a justification of how we have worked together, and that is an approach that I will continue with even more energy and vigour in the time ahead.
Thank you.
Yes, on the second question as regards the US talks with the US on tariffs. Well, the EU position from this has been clear from the beginning. We favoured a negotiated solution with US, and this remains our priority. There has been made progress towards agreement in principle during the negotiations which took place last week, and also there was a discussion with member states on the state of play of those negotiations on Friday, and we are now continuing the work with US both at technical and political level. And our aim remains to find the agreement ahead of the 9th of July deadline. Well, questions concerning letters sent by the US should be addressed to the US. At this stage, I'm not aware of a Commission having received this letter.
Thank you. Gregorio, please.
Hello, good evening. I have a question on the digital euro. What was the outcome of today's discussions, and was there any progress? And you referred to a political guidance in September. Does this mean that the goal is to have a political agreement on all the package in September? And on the Eurogroup, if I can ask a quick follow-up to Sarah's question, will the Donohoe 3.0 be different in any ways from the Donohoe 2.0?
I'll have to give a long question on the digital euro when I think about the concept of a digital of a Donohoe digital 3.0, but I'll come on to that. So firstly, in relation to the digital euro, the aim is to support the Danish presidency on reaching a key agreement on the overall file. So the deadline for that work is December. It's the end of the Danish presidency. And I understand that our colleague Stephanie, in our ECOFIN meeting tomorrow, will be asking us all to commit to that timing. And on behalf of Ireland, I'll heartily commit to that. And then in my work within the Eurogroup, I'm going to give her full assistance on trying to deal with some of the outstanding issues. In terms of what happened in the meeting today, we didn't reach agreement on the decision-making process with regard to the setting of holding limits. But the very fact that our colleagues in the Commission and the ECB and my own team were able to come forward with a proposal represented great progress. We heard different reactions to that proposal, which I would say were in the round broadly positive, but we all accepted that we have further work to do on this topic, and we'll come back to it again in September. In terms of my further work as President of the Eurogroup, I mean, the process and the way I engage with countries will remain the same. I engage with all members of the Euro area very, very regularly. I engage with them on their political priorities and the priorities that matter to the Eurogroup too. This is why we have maintained a unified approach on the issue of budget policy. It's why the Eurogroup were the first group within the European Union to issue guidance in relation to investment and savings union. And it's why we have, for example, been working so hard now on the digital euro for just under 2 years. So my process and my method will remain the same as it should be, given the endorsement that I've just received. But we need to sharpen our focus now on concluding some important topics. And those important topics are where we are with the digital euro, our efforts to maintain consensus on fiscal policy in a very complex environment, and then the work in particular that we can do in supporting the really important initiatives on the investment and savings union, and now looking at how we can move forward again on banking union given recent developments. So they will be the projects that we will continue with. And of course there's a real moment of practical importance today, a topic I've invested much effort in, which is Bulgaria joining the euro area. To reach a final decision on that in the Eurogroup that we can recommend to ECOFIN tomorrow was an important moment.
Thank you. Thanks to our speakers and to all of you for coming over. And have a lovely evening, everyone.
Thank you.